Hello YouTube, it's Ashley. I haven't made a video for a minute, so I thought I would talk about something that's really important to me and close to my heart, and that's taking care of the planet. I'm sure you guys care about, the planet and stuff like that, and maybe you are already doing stuff to be more eco-friendly, but I just want to kind of put a little food for thought, little nugget in your brain, and let you toss it around a little bit. I want to talk about reduce, reuse, recycle. This is the last 3 R's to the 5 R mantra, and I'll probably make future videos talking about the other two because maybe go a little bit more in depth on them, but I just wanted to touch on this a little bit and maybe give you guys some ideas on important to me. The first R is reduce. To reduce, we're going to cut down on waste and we're going to cut down on pollution. We're going to reduce our footprint on being on Earth because there's so many people here, and if we're all creating all this junk and contributing to landfills and just letting shit just pile up or whatever, it's just going to get all out of hand. So each person needs to be a little bit more conscious about what they're doing to this planet. Something that I like to do to reduce is buy in bulk if you can, I mean, sometimes you have to invest a little bit more. Like, I've been there, I know what that it feels like, but if you have the money that you can buy a bigger amount of soap and just refill a smaller bottle instead of buying like small bottles all the time, or maybe whenever you purchased online, there are certain companies that you'll notice will use big boxes and lots of packaging and stuff like that it really isn't necessary. Like, I know Amazon is a company that drives me crazy for doing that. I don't even think I can order from them anymore because they always just waste so much stuff. But there's other companies that they try to pack as much stuff in one box as they can, and they try to use the smallest box as possible, and that's great because that cuts down on all that junk that we don't need. I mean, landfills are just piling up with newspapers that don't ever get read and ad papers and stuff like that. And maybe instead of getting a newspaper delivered to your house, you could just read it online. It cuts down on waste. Think about it. The second R is reuse. This hits right at home because it saves you so much money to reuse stuff. Try to lean away from disposables and just invest in things that you can reuse. A lot of times this comes to hand with paper. Like, instead of using paper napkins, paper towels, I mean, I guess you have to use tissue paper, but facial tissue, maybe you could use like a hanky, or sometimes I just use like an old shirt. I wear like wife beaters all the time, and they make the best tissues, you can blow your nose in it like 20 times, and once it's already dirty, you might as well, because you're going to wash it anyways. But yeah, just try to reuse what you can, because there's no point in making new stuff and wasting your money, and then more pollution is created in the creation of the products. Like, for instance, baby diapers take so much to produce between the paper and the plastic that goes into them. It's filthy. There's so much just grossness put into the air pollutants and nastiness for the creation of diapers that you only use once and you just throw them away. Invest in cloth ones or reusable ones. Even nowadays they have like really cool ones that have little snaps on them. I mean, I don't have a kid, but still, it's cool. And they also have, instead of using water bottles all the time and buying, paying $1, $1.50 for a bottle of water, or we used to buy like 24 packs of them, just get like a reusable water container and then use like gallons to refill it, or whatever works for you. Sometimes you have to kind of fit it to your life, but just try to think about the kind of things that you can do like that. Another big one is composting. You're gonna have food scraps left over. You probably shouldn't feed them all to your dog or chickens or whatever you might have, but composting is a great way to reuse it. You can put it back into your garden. I've heard of, I think there's this book called Worms Eat My Garbage, and it's about these people, like, I think they're older ladies who live in the city, and they have like just containers that have worms, and they just put their food scraps in there, and the worms turn it into soil, that they can just reuse, and it's just smart. So if you have the chance, obviously it's kind of hard to do if you live in an apartment, you want to just go ahead and throw it away. But if you can compost, do it. Why not? It saves money on having to buy fertilizer and stuff like that, and you're reusing what you have, which is flippin' awesome. Also, plastic processing puts so many contaminants in the air. It hurts the people that live in that area because it like affects their water, and there's lots of cases of people getting sick that live near like plastic production areas or whatever. So just try to buy less plastic. You can use like canvas bags for your groceries. Most grocery stores sell them. You just have to invest in them and actually care, I guess. And also, producing plastic also uses petroleum, which do we really need to be using more foreign oil for anything? I mean, it's just, they also have R is recycle. This is kind of a last resort. The reason why I say that is because it is better than putting trash into a landfill, but it also uses up a lot of water, a lot of oil, but it's far, far less than if we were to make that stuff right from scratch. I know recycling can be kind of hard if you don't have a recycling center in your area. Most places have them now, though. I mean, I was from a like really small town in Missouri, and I could just drive like 15 minutes to the next town, like a slightly bigger town had it, and that was like a town of like probably 6, 7, 8, 9,000 people, I guess, and they had a recycling center. So just try to find the one closest to you. I know it's kind of a pain in the ass to take recycling, but if you make it a point to go once a week or twice a week, depending on how big your family is, or maybe you have a truck and you can afford to only go once a month, just try to do it, because it takes a lot less energy to use that stuff. And if we already made the plastic and the glass and whatever once, just reuse it instead of creating all new and throwing that away. We don't need more shit piling up in boxes. And lastly, I kind of want to invite you to tell me your stories about what you do to become more eco-friendly. Maybe what got you started, and if you have any book recommendations about that kind of thing, or yeah, just tell me where you at. Maybe you don't care about this kind of stuff, and you don't really see the purpose in it. I guess that's cool. Just don't hate, I guess. Don't hate on me. And I hope that you guys have learned something from what we're doing here. I think it's really important for us to start thinking about this kind of thing and talking about it, and helping each other out. Just making suggestions to each other, ways to reuse things. Like maybe you have a suggestion of how you reuse your jam jars, that I haven't thought of, or something like that. I try to use them as much as I can, but sometimes I end up recycling them. So maybe you have some great ideas on how to reuse stuff. Throw it out there. Let me know. I love you guys, and I will see you on the flip side.